Hi, my name is RAS.Wheaht. I love you by default, and I'm very, very happy you're here today. Does anyone out there want to redo? Right? How many years can you be alive, and how many mistakes can you make before you just kind of want to start over again? It's been 14 years since my last one, and I'm starting a new one, a really big one. Life, career, creative. My last one was so fantastic. I would love to reboot with you. I'm an American artist for 31 years now, and I'd like to present to you, for you, and with you the greatest painting happening on this planet right now, at least mathematically. As of this moment, it's a diptych, and I'm pretty sure it's going to become a triptych, but I don't know what the third part is, which is super exciting. As for the other two parts, one painting is made of pigment, and the other painting is made of words, typically called a story. You're inside of that story right now, and I'm so happy that you're here. In an attempt to prove it valid and true, we're going to be looking at the painting through the lenses of art, science, math, intelligence, and spirituality. The great thing about the science lens is that it requires proof, and we will get our proofs. If it's not the greatest painting in the world happening now, it's the most significant. And if it's not the most significant, it's the most needed. Before we start today, I would like to take a quick poll and gather some data. Just 3 to 5 seconds. Can you tell me or find anything that you are absolutely 100% sure of? I don't know how that works over film, but in person, almost everybody says the same thing. 1 + 1 = 2. So much so that I started to look at it. The mind shrinks down into something simple instead of expand out into something complex. And it chooses math. And it chooses the simplest numbers in math, but overlooks 0. And if you look at the number 1, it's a mark. We make a mark that represents something. What is it that it represents? What does 1 mean? Well, for 1, by its own definition, there can't be 2 1s. To get to the number 2, 1 has to make a copy of itself. It's fascinating to me. 1 making a copy of itself destroys its own definition, meaning that 2 is a fallacy. So art, math, science, intelligence, spirituality, these, we're going to probably add a few more, but these lenses in particular, they're so sweet because they offer their own kind of checks and balances. Like science had to reject much of what's in the spirituality realm. Probably a religion, which is a little bubble in there. But faith and trust in a higher being that you can't see, hear, touch, taste, or smell, or perceive, or measure in any way, that all gets thrown out, just for science to be what science is. They had to throw away ether even. As science continually proves over and over, spirituality is the highest science, the highest intelligence, and the highest art form. As mentioned, one of the great parts of science is that it requires the proof. But spirituality takes it a step further. If you're not experiencing it right now, it gets thrown out. It only deals with proof happening right here, right now. So in this way, we're going to be taking a look at this piece of art we're creating through all of these lenses. And then as we move along into different talks, we're going to be doing this, looking at all of these lenses through all of these lenses. And eventually those lenses just merge into 1, which is where we're going to paint the greatest painting in the world from. So if you like art, you should like what's going to happen here. If you like science or math, you should like what's going to happen here. If you are an intellectual or a thinker or a problem solver, you should like what's going to happen here. And if you're those things, you're probably spiritual. You notice that there is suffering here. You feel it. You don't want to feel it. You don't want to suffer anymore. I don't want to be afraid anymore. There's a recognition that somehow this place is broken, where human beings are missing something. Well, that's what we're doing here. I paint to heal, and heal everything. I gotta heal myself first, which that's what I'm doing. I'm just inviting everyone in. Because love loves to share itself. And all these lenses really are inside of a giant lens called love. just want to love everybody. I want to give and receive as much love as humanly possible. And if I can go past what's humanly possible, I want that. And if anything is happening here on my end, I want to find my audience, my people, my tribe, to the extent where I am yours and you are mine, and we love each other and uplift each other. Is anybody out there? What is the purpose of an artist? What is the purpose of art? And what's the greatest you can do with it? Let's find out. If you were to go look up the greatest painting ever made, first you'd get
It's a wildly subjective concept there that would yield a variety of different answers. Everybody would have a different one.
And they do. But if you go look up people's answers, you'll get a lot of this one right here. The 16th Chapel from Pablo Picasso. Just kidding. You get a lot of those. I'd go with this one right here, just because it's a flat ceiling. If we're talking chapels, we'll make a point to compare our painting to these two before we're done. That's a pretty lofty task, especially because this painting, it's called Guru, which is the greatest, mathematically, the greatest painting on the planet, is the one over my shoulder. Not that one. That one. Yeah. All black.
Preposterous! I'm out of here forthwith!
Don't click off, because it's not what you think.
I am removing myself due to trickery.
The black is the darkest black pigment on the planet and costs $1,000 a gallon.
Interesting.
I know, I chose the paint specifically so I could do that. To stop you, because I don't think I'd be doing this if this paint didn't exist, because we wouldn't have made it. I've tested this on 8 people so far, and I think I've needed that for all of them to get on board. And then we get in the story, that's the best part of why this whole thing's happening. But I feel like I have to play defense a little bit, because this is why people don't like art, including me. 10,001 artists have already spilt a gallon of glidden onto their drop cloth, named it St. John's Lament on the Rock of Gibraltar, only to have Dieter from Power Gallery number 3 in Stuttgart try to tell me how important it is. Not a lot of trust in that scenario, which is the exact opposite direction that we want to go. But if you feel tricked moving forward in any way, remember that what I'll be trying to trick you into, if anything, is the greatest experiences a man can have, by man I mean human, via the greatest thought forms a man can have. Look through multiple lenses just so we don't get tricked, ultimately ending in direct experience. If one experience can be greater than another experience, then there must be a greatest experience. If one thought can be greater than another thought, then there must be a greatest thought. What are these things? Remember also that we're rebooting. This whole thing is a reboot. We're starting from scratch. We don't want to start from complexity. We want to start from simplicity. What's the beginning? That's what we're finding out here. This is where we're starting over from. That's a great place to end chapter 1. I'm doing this in lieu of writing a book because I want it to be interactive. I want to connect. And this painting is wholly interactive. It's stunning. And very literally, it's not what you think. The entire book is about getting back to the beginning. And if we do it proper, we're not going to want to leave when we get there. I've already proved all the things in here. You'll be able to bring any expert you want in the entire world to talk about it. So if you're still feeling tricked in any way, we have the intelligence lens in here for a reason. This is my Magnus Opus, or Magnum Opus if you prefer. They both mean great work. We use both. This is my Magnus Opus. It is the best I have. I didn't go through 31 years of study to impress you with how well I can paint a canvas black. If you study in the realms of science or spirituality, you probably already know that the earth is going through its own reboot, and thus everything on it. What if we all reboot together from the same place in the same direction? I'm in. If you are too, let's go find that place. I'll give you the best I have. We'll find the system that all systems come from, the math from which all math comes from. Very literally, the greatest thoughts the mind can have. We'll explore the heights of science and spirituality, which is the greatest math, the greatest intelligence, and the greatest science, and also the greatest art form. And after that, we'll paint together. If any of those interest you, come. I know you're out there because I'm betting everything on you. In the end, we just all want to be happy. We don't want to suffer anymore. If we could turn the cause of suffering into a mathematical equation, in a moment, start this over and listen to the first 3 minutes again. It's in there. We overlook 0 and we fail to recognize the very simple fact that 2 is an illusion. Hit all those magic buttons, the likes and subscribes and shares. You keep me going. Stick around.
And until next time,
Be art.
And love on.